All right. Everybody, welcome to the C3 Comic Show. We'll be doing things a little bit different today. None of my stellar jokes. Sorry,
Aw.
but something really big happened. I'll give you one. I'll give you just one. I did read that George Lucas apparently, when he sold Marvel Comics, he's now releasing. Not wow. Well, keeping that in. When George Lucas sold the Star Wars franchise, he actually gave all his notes and ideas to Disney, and the response apparently was, "Nah, that's all right." So
Wah, wah,
throw up a
wah.
picture of Jar Jar Binks somewhere
Again.
again, because that's the joke I always make.
That's right.
Like, do we have to keep being reminded?
Right.
But anyways, so the big story here is Marvel is rebooting their universe. There's been uh, speculation,
And more speculation.
and more speculation
Yeah.
about it. Actually, ever since DC did theirs, because Marvel kind of tends to fall behind a little bit in the books.
Just a little.
So I mean, and people don't know because this was really the big one. Was I think Marvel fans. It even seemed to me were more hardcore about continuity even than the DC fans were. Like you had your share of DC fans that weren't really happy about it, but kind of put up what were like, whatever. But I still want all my stuff. But it seems like Marvel fans are really hard and really passionate about their continuity.
Right. And I think we're seeing right now, as Marvel found out, I mean, look at the sales of Amazing Spider-Man. They just rebooted that. They gave it the axe after 700, rebooted at number one. We're almost a year into that. It's still one of their top sellers. Wolverine wasn't doing so hot. The Death of Wolverine sold pretty well, but as we're finding in the Marvel tendency to oversaturate titles and to oversaturate events. And I think a lot of the readers are finally at that point where it's like, you know what? We don't want this garbage because we want a story that we can pick up every month. If I'm following, let's say, 4 titles a month, I don't want to have to follow 12. I don't want to have to go out and buy 24 in order to read a story. And with them coming on this, coming up on a relaunch, depending on how they handle it, is we just have to wait and see what's going to happen with it because wait and see what they'll do with all these characters. Do you reboot Spider-Man again? You're not even a year into it, but they did it to Wolverine twice within that was less than a year.
And I'm not as big of a Marvel guy. You probably know a little bit more than I do, but they said they're melding the regular Marvel universe with the Ultimate Marvel universe, and it's going to be called Battleground, I want to say, or is Battleground another universe?
Well, to be determined. I mean, they've tried establishing those universes as different, but then as we saw with Ultimates, they already tried ending that before. It was supposed to be Cataclysm. That was supposed to be the end-all finale to the Ultimates. And then they turned around and just tried to relaunch the Ultimates.
Yep.
And nobody wanted it. And then, that just kind of went away. It's like, oh, never mind. We have Ultimate Spider-Man, but he's not supposedly part of the Ultimates universe. He's Miles Morales. He's his own kid elsewhere. But then I think this is their way of finally just kind of sweeping all that up and to be able to, it's like, oh, bring back Wolverine, they're supposedly killing off Deadpool. And so maybe this is their way. Just, what? Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Bring back the Punisher again to kill off the Marvel Universe. And do you think
they can do it together?
Yeah, do it together. Like they can have the standoff, do the
Yeah.
the side by side trigger pull and end it, and then zoom out. It's an autistic kid's daydream the whole time, a la St. Elsewhere, and start over. And that's where, with any type of reboot, it'll be really interesting to see how Marvel handles it. If they're going to go with that route of, oh, the worlds collide and it's the best man, the last man standing, so to speak.
Yeah.
But at this point, with everything they're setting up in Spider-Verse and things like that, it's definitely clear, Marvel has their movies in mind.
Mm-hmm.
They have, well, at this point, movies in mind. I think the books are kind of secondary, and this reboot, it's like, hey, you know what? Delete all your titles. Give us 16 that are worth picking up every month, and run with it.
Do it, Marvel. I was just about to say is that, and we've harped on this so many times before, the whole X-Men thing.
Oh, it's
Awful
right now.
I read Amazing X-Men and I kind of quit
Mm-hmm.
I'll still pick up the book, but I haven't read it in like a couple months because there's so many other X-Men titles. You really feel like you're missing something, and that
Yeah.
you're out of the loop on what's ever happening for it.
Well, and that's been Marvel's curse. I mean, these last few years, it drives me nuts. And I've talked to fellow retailers about it, and I've talked to our Marvel rep about it. When he asked me, hey, how are numbers going? And I'm straight up honest with them. I said, people want, at least in my opinion, and it is just my opinion, but no more than 2 of anything. And we don't need 9 Wolverines. We don't need 8 Avengers. We need 1. We need 1 Avengers at $3.99 a month that is worth picking up every single month. And that, or like a big thing right now, like let's say Captain America. They relaunched Captain America. Cool, all new Captain America. And then, that #1 came out. And then, hold on, what about Captain America and the Mighty Avengers? What about Captain America and the X-Men? What about Captain America and the Wolverines?
Mm-hmm.
But what about Wolverines and Captain America, but not Deadpool and Captain America? Because that's only a one-shot, unless you want to buy Captain America and Deadpool, the series, which will be a 3-parter with another 12 parts to follow.
Yeah.
And that's where Marvel, if they can do away with all that, and they haven't announced yet. I mean, we don't know. We don't know what, if they're just going to collapse the whole universe.
I was going to say, do you think they're going to kind of do it DC style? Which I kind of feel like Marvel now was kind of their foray into this. Was they were kind of dipping the toe into the hot tub, if you will,
Right.
to see kind of how it feels, how everybody kind of takes it. But yeah, so they're kind of seeing just how it all worked. But I think it's long overdue.
It's long overdue, and right now, the fact, like I said, I mean, it was over the course of a year and a half, where it's like, Marvel Now. Oh, hold on, all new Marvel Now.
Yes.
And then the fact that changed it, and as a collector and as a retailer, and, for the guys at Overstreet, I mean, how effing mad would you get? Like, okay, I got Wolverine all typed in there. Hold on, 2013 Wolverine, that's Marvel Now. Oh, hold on, all new Marvel Now. And then the fact that they, it gets inventoried and gets invoiced as all new blank. So everything shows up now as, it's under A on our invoices. And it's like, come on. Just Captain America. It's Captain America. It's Wolverine. It's X-Men.
Yeah, that's also really interesting. Is what's going to happen with Wolverine now, because they killed him, but now if they're rebooting the universe, can't you just take him? But once again, what's a reboot mean?
Yeah.
You know what? That's it's really all speculation, but yeah, I gotta believe they gotta go DC's route and go even further, and literally everybody is day one.
Day one, Secret Origin style. And I prefer that. And again, if, the guys at Marvel, and just in the comic industry in general, I mean, find, and I've taken that approach, find your Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Give us 1 Spider-Man, 1 Avengers, 1 Captain America, and that's all. Don't try to cater to 12 different audiences with every character. And it's like, hold on, we need a black Spider-Man. Oh, and we need a Hispanic Spider-Man, and we need a French Spider-Man.
You're in luck, because the black and the Hispanic Spider-Man are the same, aren't they?
That's Miles. That would be Miles Morales at the moment. So
you're in luck.
Yeah. And then, but then what do? You just throw that away, and then, or let's have that. Let's have Marvel do, from here on out, there has to be, 7 different races of every character, and there has to be a male and female version of every character, which Marvel will gladly sell you.
Right.
And that's what I'm afraid of.
So within all that,
Marvel's rebooting.
Marvel is rebooting. That's your big story, your big takeaway. We're definitely going to talk about this more as they reveal what they're actually going to do with it, what an actual reboot means. We've kind of given our prerequisite thoughts on it. So other than that, hey, I'm done working because I'm really lazy. You should do some picks.
Sounds good to me. Click. Hey guys, Mike here with a couple picks for you for this month of January. Kicking things off from IDW, Galaxy Quest, The Journey Continues. This will pick up after the film, and with some luck, this might spark talks in a sequel to the film. It's one of my favorites. It stars a TV crew that gets zapped up into space by a group of aliens that believes that they are actually astronauts of sorts, and Tim Allen gives one of his finest performances, Sigourney Weaver. It's great stuff. The comic picks right up where the show left off, so go out, check it out. That's Galaxy Quest from IDW. Also from IDW this month, my man Lance Henriksen makes his return in Millennium. The show from Chris Carter used to air after X-Files. Again, one of my favorites as a teenager. Is going to be coming back for just a short run, and so far, with what I've read, it could easily be a TV episode. Keep our fingers crossed that it keeps going. Next up from Dark Horse, we've got Lady Killer, #1. Homicidal housewives galore. Perfect solution to those problem stains, just like the cover says. Highly suggest you guys pick this one up. Coming at us from Joelle Jones and Jamie Rich. So far, hot prospect of the season. Again, that's Lady Killer from Dark Horse. From IDW, yet again, and I know you guys will hate me, but it's Ninja Turtles, #42. Technodrome, Krang, Shredder. I know I've used this review before, but you guys, seriously, pick it up. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. It's freaking Ninja Turtles. It's one of the best books on the market right now. You got Tom Waltz delivering one of the coolest stories that IDW has to offer right now. And I myself have been counting down the days between issues. That gives you an idea of how good it's been. And lastly, from Action Lab, our friends who brought us Zombie Tramp, is what could possibly be one of the goofiest comics I think I've looked at in the last 6 months. And that is Holy, and we can insert a beep there or not, but again, that's Holy, just like the cover says. What? Available in 3 amazing covers. You get the Jesus with a shotgun cover, Devil with a shotgun cover, or the dual wielding nun. Myself, the Jesus cover is pretty amazing. Coming at us from Nick Marino and Daniel Massa, just showing us again that Action Lab has one of the most warped senses of humor in all of the industry right now, and I only hope that your local comic shop carried at least a few copies. Let them know when you buy it that you heard about it here on the C3 show. Go ahead, like us, subscribe to us, share with your friends, leave your comments below. Let us know what some of your favorite picks are. And that does it for me tonight. We'll see you guys in the stores.
Hey guys, Turnus here from the Game and Frame Connection. This week we're going to be taking a quick look at Aquaman, Throne of Atlantis. It's a DC animated movie that just hit on digital download last week. One of the things that I liked about this movie was that it was just as much of an origin story for the Justice League as it was for Aquaman. Basically, when the movie starts, the Justice League does exist, but it's not in any sort of organized form. You got Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, they're all there, but they're not really active members. The only guy that's really doing anything with the Justice League is Aquaman. God damn it. So to kind of set the story up for you guys, basically what happens is Ocean Master and Black Manta attack a military sub out of fear that it's going to discover the lost city of Atlantis. Cyborg goes down to take a look at a few things, and he's attacked by some Atlantean creatures while he's down there to find also that the missiles have been stolen. The reason the missiles were stolen is because Black Manta and Ocean Master are conspiring against the Queen of Atlantis to make it look like the surface dwellers are trying to destroy the city. Meanwhile, on the surface world, Arthur Curry has just lost his father and he is stuck in a terrible downward spiral of drunkenness and just going out and getting in fights every night. He's pretty much hit rock bottom at this point. He has no idea who he is, what he's here for. He's just lost in this world. Ocean Master actually kills the Queen of Atlantis just so he can declare war on the surface. He makes it look once again like surface dwellers did it. And at this point, it's essentially up to Aquaman and the Justice League to take back the Throne of Atlantis and put Aquaman on the throne where he belongs. Things that I liked about this movie were, like I stated earlier, it's just as much an origin story for Aquaman as it is the Justice League. I also really like the focus on Cyborg here. This honestly made me want to see a Cyborg solo animated movie. They don't even touch on his character a whole lot, it's just what they do with him that makes it interesting. He's, like, just within the first couple minutes, I was sold on how awesome he is and how like tragic his backstory is, and I wanted to see more of that. So I definitely hope that DC is looking at doing something like that in the future. Everything about this movie was on point. The voice work, the choreography, the animation, A+ across the board.
Aquaman. Enough about the movie. If you want a great Aquaman experience, you got to pick up the game. It's for like PlayStation, N64, something like that. It's old, but it's awesome. Don't actually pick up the game. It's really bad. All right, Josh here. I got some news for you, but first, I don't know where we are, but we're going to change that. Much better. All right, time to bring you some news. First off, the Xbox One announced that their permanent price point at this time is $349. So if you've been holding off on getting an Xbox One, now's the time to pick it up. It's cheaper than a PS4. You don't have to have the Kinect, and it's super awesome if you ask me. But so is the PS4. You should just get it because games are awesome and everyone likes spending money to save the economy, yada yada. Xbox One, $349. Next up, some sad news that could lead to some good news. Club Nintendo is shutting down. It started in 2007, and you would take surveys and buy games from Nintendo to earn coins or stars. The more coins you earned, you could earn different levels like Elite or Platinum, and you could use these coins to buy awesome prizes like games themselves, along with other things from the Nintendo store. So they decided they're going to shut the program down. You have until September, I believe, to use your current coins or stars, and they're going to be adding a lot of things to their library for you to buy. So make sure you log into your account if you haven't for a while and buy something while you have the points. They said they're going to replace it with a new program later in the year. That's all the details they've released. As soon as I get the details, I'll tell them to you. So log into your Club Nintendo, spend your coins. Also, sticking with Nintendo, they just had their Nintendo Direct conference, and probably the biggest thing to come out of there was the new 3DS Fire Emblem trailer. If you're not familiar with Fire Emblem, it's Nintendo's turn-based strategy game, much like the Advanced War series, except there's like permadeath and a lot more strategy involved. But the cinema trailer looked super awesome, and I believe this is the first 3D Fire Emblem game to hit the shelves, so look forward to that. Next up, and last on my list, is my personal favorite, the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Borderlands Remastered Bundle. Xbox One, PS4. It's going to have Borderlands 2, which is a fantastic game, and the pre-sequel. But the coolest thing is there's going to be a $3.99 version with a remote control claptrap. Doesn't come with a console, but you have a remote control claptrap, and that's really all you need in life. So you have a lot of spending to do. You have the Xbox One to buy, the 3DS, Fire Emblem Nintendo, and Borderlands Remastered. That's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in.